Hi guys, this is Michael Alexander with Coinsider. Thanks for coming to another quick charts presentation today. Today we're going to be going over 6 analysts. We have 3 bears and 3 bulls like yesterday. We also have another analyst that I put at the bottom who's presenting something completely new I've never heard of from an Elliot Wave perspective. It's very exciting. I found that yesterday from another technician. Before we get into the charts, let's just go over what quick charts is really quick. Quick charts are top analysts that we do the research and we bring them to you all in one page to save you time in research and possibly help you to spot that next big move in Bitcoin or crypto so you don't miss out on that next big move. If you haven't already seen our demo video, we have a link in the description. Just please follow that link. And before we get into the quick charts, we just want to give you a summary. We have three different things we're going to be going over today. The first part is the quick charts. They're just the basic charts of the price movement. The second is the reasoning, why the analysts are choosing those price points. And the third are the candle charts, which are the actual analysts' charts where we get into even more detail. So each section actually is the same section. It's just that in the first section we start with a very high overview. The next section is going to be a little bit drilling down more, and then the third section is much more detail. So depending on what you're looking for and what information you want, you can leave at any section of the presentation that you would like. So let's jump into the quick charts now, which is the first part. We have 6 analysts. Let's just look at all of them side by side. I listed the 3 on the left as the bulls. I listed the 3 on the right as the bears. As you can see, we have a few similar patterns going on, like a zigzag pattern here going up. We have a zigzag pattern going up here. Here it's not exactly a zigzag, it's just down and up pattern. On the right hand side with the bears, we have zigzag up and then finally down, down up and finally down, and down up in a few different destinations. So those are just a few different ways the market could be moving. Now let's get into the prices. So with the prices, we have current 8100 in the market going down to 7500 zone here, 7600, 7800. So there's similarities on where the market is going down from all the different analysts. Here I did not list the actual point because the analyst did not mention that exactly, but here you have a 7500 on our bearish analyst. So if you pay attention, we have the 7500 area is a point that many analysts are looking for as far as a retracement or a pullback in the market before going up. That finishes our quick chart section, which is the page 1. Now we're going to get into the reasoning. If this was good enough for you, then we'll see you tomorrow. If you want to continue with the reasoning, then feel free to continue. We are going to move on here to the prediction and reasoning. So like we did for the past 2-3 days, the analysts that we've been updating as they come out with their new information. So we have here the first analyst, Filicone. He sees the market retracing to the 7500 zone and then going up, and 8500 is a major area of support resistance. A lot of action here which we need to break through, and he believes that we should break through that and get to that next to finish the wave 5 9200 zone to complete our 5 Elliot waves. So our next analyst is also an Elliot Wave technician, Heijin, and he sees us also likely retracing down to the 7600 area, then finishing the next wave at 9400, moving down for a retracement 8300, then moving back up in the market. Our next analyst, EW in patterns, also bullish, and he is an Elliot Wave technician as well. His view is we're starting here at 8100, moving up to 9200 to finish that Elliot Wave pattern that we have seen from our other analysts, correcting back down to 7800, moving up to 15,000, and then he sees 2 different ways we can go. Once we move down to that critical 11,800 area, which now is a major resistance, if we move down that and we bounce off of it, then we could head up to 20,000. If we do not bounce off of that 11,800, we could break straight through and do a correction all the way down to $4,000. So EW and patterns see 2 different routes. The longer term route is well, he sees us going up first to that $14,000-$15,000 range, and from there we could head two directions like you see here. Now let's get to the bearish analysts. We have Tony Vase, featuring him for the last 3-4 days. He's still long-term bearish until we get over $95,000. And also he sees the 200 moving average on the daily as a major resistance as well, and the 50 moving average currently as a major resistance. So unless we break through all of those resistance areas, then he probably will not be leaning bullish. So again, look out for that $9,500 price point. We have AP. Also, I put the dotted line $9,500 price point. He's not going to be looking bullish until he sees a break of that 9,500 area here. Temporarily, we are dipping, and we probably will test up towards that, past the 9,200 towards the 9,500. But overall, still, on the weekly and the monthly chart, AP is bearish until we start, breaking through that bearish weekly chart. Then we can't, and past that 9,500, we can't be looking bullish. Then we have JD Marshall is also bearish. He sees a bounce right now, and then heading back up here towards the 84.59, which is an important place to break. And if we break the 84.59 area, then most likely we will move towards the 9,200 area, and we'll establish another point, which is going to be a higher high. So again, he mentioned that 9,200 was critical for him, that we have to break that 9,200 to establish a higher high in order for him to look on the bullish side. So that concludes the prediction and reasoning section. And sorry about the noise in the background, that is Telegram. Now we're going to finish off by going into the candle charts. So if this information was good enough for you here, and enough detail, and you want to move on, great, we'll see you tomorrow. If you want to stay on with us and move on to the candle charts presentation where we go into further detail by the analyst charts, then please stay. We're going to continue now. So let's look at Philicone's chart. Again, Philicone sees us that we are retracing to that 7,500 area. We're doing an ABC correction as we've completed a wave 5 up here. And then from here, so this is a major bounce area. And then from here, we should be heading back up towards this yellow line where we should break it from his point of view, and then head up towards that 9,000, 9,200 area to complete a wave 5. So that, again, Philicone is an Elliot Wave technician. He uses resistance, supports, different tools for his analysis, but mainly Elliot Wave he's using. And this is Hey Jean's updated chart from yesterday, where he sees a bearish ascending wedge going into July, August, where if we keep on going, then this would be a longer term bullish. He sees us in a W white, like a W white pattern. That's another one of his analysis, and he sees us moving on this blue 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 section here. He also mentioned the other day that it could be at head and shoulders, and we could see the retracement as all the analysts are seeing to the 7,500 mark here as well. But we're continuing on that blue line here. We have EW and patterns. He updated his illustrations today, actually about an hour ago, and he mentioned that this low must not be breached, which is the 6420 area. We're currently about 8,000, and as long as it's not breached, he sees these patterns 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 working out, where again, if we get to that critical 11,700 area here, he sees this as his bullish scenario. But in the bearish scenario, if we head down to this fourth and we don't hold on that 11,700 when we break through, then his next scenario is that we could see that 4,000 finishing off towards the end of this year, and then we should be heading up again towards 2019. So that is his bearish scenario, but his primary count is this one, which is bullish. And then you have Tony Vase. On the weekly he's bearish, on the monthly he is bearish, saying that the second red candle formed. Please visit his site to get more detail on that. He is a TD sequential analyst. He uses candlesticks. And then we have AP, also believes that we need to break that 9,500 barrier. This is the resistance here, and we still have bearish and weekly bearish momentum against us. So we need to break through some barriers before he sees any bullishness in sight. And then we have JD Marshall also mentioning we need to break that 84.39 area to go, and if we break it, we establish another higher low to go towards 9200, break that to establish a higher high. And then we have our featured analyst here, which I found, which is Wave 618 on YouTube. And what he has found, let me give you an example here, is he found a wave that's previously not listed in the classical Elliot Wave books. This wave is called a neutral triangle, and the neutral triangle is one of 4 neo waves that one of the authors, Neely, actually he is the author of the new Elliot Wave book that is recent, came out with, and this is what it looks like. So it would be an ABCDE correction, but the classical ABCDE has the E lower, has the D a little higher, and then the E lower than C. But in this example, the C is the longest wave, and the E finishes higher than the C. So to compare it in his chart, he has here Bitcoin going, which is going to be to that 20,000 mark, A, B, C is the longest wave, D is up, and E finishes shorter. And he also presents another example historical in Bitcoin, where we had another example here where when Bitcoin was at about 4,900, we were correcting down from the 5,000 mark to the, let's say, 2,900 mark, and we had A, B, C was the longest, where it went down to the 2,930 area. Then you had D bounce back up, and you had E correcting higher than C. And then from this area, he took extensions, and he found that when he did the Fibonacci extensions, it matched up perfectly to the 618 areas. So please go visit his YouTube channel, and you'll see more detail in his videos. But that I found fascinating, because if it is the case, then we could have completed this neutral triangle pattern with Bitcoin. And the other thing that he points out is that when we look at an indicator called the OBV volume, the volume indicates that most of the buyers left in the market that according to the volume, bought in the $1,000 or $1,200 area, where those guys that are buying in such low Bitcoin prices are not going to be shaken out. So there's a few arguments that he presents on the bullish case, which are very interesting. Just wanted to bring that up as another argument for the bulls. But again, the goal here is just to present many different arguments, bulls and bears, so you can see whose argument is strong and holds water, and you can make a decision on what's going on in the market. So that concludes today's quick charts presentation. We went over, let's go back to the beginning, we went over 3 sections, as I mentioned. We have the first section here, which is the quick charts, just basic directions. We went over the patterns that is unfolding in the market, and the key numbers or the key prices to look for that are matching with many different analysts. We went over predictions and reasonings with the analysts themselves and why they're calling these numbers, and then we went over the analyst charts. So I hope that you got a lot of good information from today's quick charts report. Again, all of the information and all of this predictions are the analyst opinions, and any opinions that Coinsider or myself did today is just our opinions. It's not financial advice, and if you are investing into the market or trading, please do your own due diligence, as there's always a chance to lose money. Again, thank you for coming to another quick charts presentation. We will see you tomorrow.